Hey all, welcome to Monday, welcome to Countdown Day, and now that we're settling into 2025, I thought that a good way to kick things off would be to ask the question, what are you most looking forward to adding to your collection this year? It could be something old that you've been hunting for a long time, or it could be some upcoming release. But the question was asked to fans, what is the one Transformer that you're most looking forward to adding to your collection this year, 2025? That's our focus this time around in the latest GotBot Counts Down. Hey all, welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, your most humble of hosts, Dennis Moulton, aka GotBot. As always, please like, comment, share. Of course, subscribe, and while you are at it, light them up, baby. Hit that notification bell, please. Helps me out a ton. Let you know when content of all sorts goes up here on the channel. Check out Machinery of Man, The Everything Factor, all the groups that I'm either a mod or an admin for, as well as all of my social media links. All of that's in the description down below. Also in the description down below. And if you're in a position to help the channel to grow, you can use the donate link. Check us out on Patreon. See what we have to offer to you through spring. Or, of course, hit the join button at any given time and become a channel member. And like I said, this is the top 10 Transformers that fans want to add to their collections in 2025. Some of these are new, some of these are reissues, some of these are old, but the voting was very, very interesting. Our honorable mentions include, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 that had the same number of votes, not enough to rank, but the honorable mentions include Legacy United Sandstorm, which is a great Sandstorm. It's a very interesting mold, great transformation, decent articulation and stuff. Kind of, you know, it's overpriced for a leader class, but there's a lot there to like. 86 Grimlock, a lot of people missed that the first go around. I know that we've had the Toxitron yellow coloration. I know we have the upcoming G2, but there's also slated to be an actual Studio Series 86 release of, or re-release of Grimlock that's supposed to be coming along. So fingers crossed for folks that want that proper G1 version of Grimlock. So there's also the comic book version. What a great mold. It's been used a bunch of times. Anyway, Legacy United Sandstorm, 86 Grimlock, Fort Max. Some people voted for the Titan's Return. Some people as the reissue. Some people voted for a G1 that they've been on the hunt for forever. So I just put them together for Fort Max, and he made an honorable mention. G1 Grandis. I think that the Grandis love is up because of Star Convoy. United, Takara United Jazz, not Legacy United Jazz, the United line that was part of the whole Chug era. That Jazz uses the Reveal the Shield mold. Excellent, excellent Jazz. Even though I have the 86, I would never get rid of my Reveal the Shield, because if something ever happens to my 86, I'll just revert back to my Reveal the Shield. It's an excellent Jazz. 86 Ultra Magnus, a lot of people would still like him. I don't think he had as wide enough of a release as he should have had. I think a lot of people wanted him that never ever saw him. So I would say he would be one that would be ripe for a reissue. I haven't heard anything, but I could believe he'd be ripe for a reissue. And the MPG Super Jinride, depending on how you pronounce it. And that's great. Again, here in Canada, that is $455 plus tax plus shipping. I mean, no. It's cool, but no. Just by the time that's done, I think that the prices on some of the stuff that comes out now is just, it's silly. I'm never realistically going to spend that on him. Get realistic. But an MP collector most definitely would probably see that value. So, you know what? More power to them if that's the one that they want. I have the regular two. And I know that the mainline one, the Titan's Return one, like, isn't as good, even with, you know, the Legends God Bomber on and stuff. I get it, I understand, but for what I paid for that and the PC add-on kits, the Perfect Effect kits, I gotta be honest, I mean, he's pretty great. He is wonderful. I think the new one is obviously better. The MPG one is obviously better. It's just, man, $455, whew, that is quite a price, especially since you would still have to get God Bomber on top of it. And I think I've seen prices for him, Canadian, at, I want to say 269. Like, whew, that's a lot for a God Ginrai. But those are the honorable mentions: Fort Max Grandis, United Jazz 86 Ultra Magnus, MPG Super Ginrai, Legacy United Sandstorm, and 86 Grimlock reissue. None of them made the list for most wanted in 2025. Who did? What did? We're going to do as we always do and kick things off with number 10, my friends. First. Kicking us off at number 10 is this guy. That's right, it is Legacy United Cosmos, or Chaos, or I was going to say Chaos on Velocitron. Wow, I'm going back to Titan's Return now. Or the Velocitron Speedia 500 version, whatever. But some version of Deluxe Cosmos. I really, really hope that the Legacy United is a far wider release than the Chaos on... Why do I keep going back to Titan's Return? Than the Velocitron Speedia 500 one was. It's a great mold. It's a great Cosmos. The Legends one is also great. Cosmos is really lucky. He's had like 2 updates, I'll say, in the last 10 years or so, that has spanned both Legends and Deluxe, and both of them are excellent. I really, really hope that this one is a wider release and that a lot of fans can avail of just how fantastic he is. Cosmos takes the number 10 slot. Coming in at number 9 is one that, well, we sort of got before with this. It is Soulless Prime, and I said sort of before because we did get the little Titan Master in Titan's Return. That was very disappointing. That's the one thing, actually it wasn't Titan's Return, it was Power of the Primes. That was the one thing about that era, the Prime Wars trilogy, that really bugged me, is why did you do all of the Primes, but do them all as little Prime Masters, like little Micro Mastery things? Everybody back then wanted what we're getting now, which is full versions of the Primes. Soulless, long overdue for a proper release. I have Salvia Promenade and love it, but I'm not gonna lie, this Soulless looks pretty darn sweet and is a nice homage to a couple of iterations of herself. Most notably, the Align Continuity, I would say, as well as the Machinima Prime Wars Trilogy version of herself. But yeah, Soulless Prime takes the number 9 slot. Coming in at number 8 takes us to HasLab and this big boy. That's right, Omega Prime. And I get it. I didn't go in on this. I've reviewed the original. This is one of those cases of it's not my Magnus and not my Optimus. But you know what? I said it when it was announced and whatnot that this looks glorious. This looks fantastic. I thought the chest on Optimus was a little wide, but I think you can actually adjust the chest window so that that gap between I guess the 2 windows isn't as wide. I think you actually can sort of make sure that that's not the case, but like it looks splendid. With both Magnus and Optimus combined, it looks splendid. And I said that I feel like that this is perhaps the truest value for money HasLab that we've had yet. I think the lineup of what you're getting versus what the cost was, I think is a really good match this time around. And I'm so happy for the hardcore fans of Car Robots / Robots in Disguise 2001. I really, really, really am happy for you guys, and I hope that he ends up being as splendid as you hope he will be. Coming in 2025, HasLab Omega Prime takes the number 8 slot. Number 7 was a little bit of a surprise and sticks with RID 2001 and this guy, Skybite. Now, I have the earlier generations and I love that, even though when you transform him into Shark, it's like he's jumping out of the water, so it's not the most functional thing in the world. As a robot, I thought he was great, though admittedly, he was done in an era where there was some hollowness, and there are some things that I would have changed about the design. I think it's very interesting that they are revisiting Skybite. Will I be in for it? Will I want it? I don't know. I guess we'll see, because I do really like the original generation's Voyager, but I can certainly see places and ways to improve upon it. Didn't think that he would be a dark horse that would come from out of nowhere, but absolutely cool that Skybite takes the number 7 slot. Coming in at number 6 is another dark horse that I'm a bit surprised made the list with this guy. Star Convoy, or Star Optimus Prime if you prefer. I have the earlier Selects one. I don't know yet if I'm in for the new one, though he does look really splendid. It looks like a perfect update of both him and, not for nothing, but the little Rodimus, or Hot Rod, that would be the small Micromaster that accompanies him. Though I think that hot rod is more core class than Micromaster. Maybe I'd be wrong when I saw it in hand and would say, oh no, this is definitely Micromaster. I think that this looks splendid. I think it's Supreme class that they are now calling Titan, but they've lowered the price, so that makes sense. I think the pricing makes sense. I think the look makes sense. I think the base mode makes sense. I think the truck mode, as bonkers as it is, makes sense. I am very curious to see the range of motion and articulation, but man, oh man, honestly, as a version of Optimus Prime that would be part of the 13, or the Arisen, or the mysterious 13 Prime, whatever you want to call them, as that final evolution, if you will, of what Optimus Prime becomes in the end, in Battlestars, in the other one that goes with it, the Operation, what was it? Was it Operation Combination? I can't remember now. Or Operation Combination Battlestars. I don't remember the order. Masterfire knows. Shout out to Masterfire. But anyway you cut it, this is going to be an interesting addition to a Titan lineup. Not really a Titan, more a Supreme class, but man, I think it absolutely works. I think it's the right scale. I think it's the right price for Star Convoy. And he takes the number 6 slot. And now a hush falls over the crowd because we've reached the ever-coveted, ever-popular halfway mark. And at the halfway mark, we have one that I knew it was going to appear here, because whenever anybody asks some sort of question of what do you wish, what do you hope for, this always appears, and it's this guy. That's right, Metroplex. And a lot of people said that they would like a reissue of the Fall of Cybertron Metroplex. Some people said that they want a whole new mold done as a G1 style. Now, this past summer in 2024, John Warden, who was still with Hasbro at the time, was interviewed during SDCC and said to do a proper G1 Metroplex new mold, you would probably not get that as a Titan or as a mainline release. You would probably have to be a HasLab project. He said more likely would be a reissue of the Generations Metroplex at, of course, a new price point. And I think a lot of people would be happy with that. It wouldn't be perfect for some people, but I think a lot of people would be quite happy to get that. I don't know what a reasonable price would be for this now, because it's been so many years. I would imagine it would probably go for about $299 Canadian, I would think. 200 US, I would think, maybe. I also had some people who said, well, there's the, W Resources, Lewin Resources, gigantic version, but again, that thing is, for US, that's like $1,100–$1,200. I don't think that Shozi is shipping to the US with that anymore. I think it's now on BBTS for like $1,300 US. You're still going to have shipping. In Canada, I done the math out. You're looking at about $2,000. If you had to import it, which I think would be the only way to do it, you're definitely going to get hit with customs on all 4 of those boxes, so it'd be more like $2,500. It's been said that that thing should not be kept in a robot mode for too long, shouldn't be displayed standing up because it's too much weight, too much pressure. I think that that's a magnificent looking thing that probably belongs in a museum, but as a purchasable, functional version of Metroplex, I don't think that it's that at all. I've seen the videos, just like bending the arm takes like 2 adult hands and they're heavy, heavy ratchets. The suggestion is that you put it in city mode and leave it displayed in city mode, so it would take up quite a bit of display space, floor space, because that thing would be gigantic. On the flip side, some people have said, well, there's something like the Cyan Culture or Make Toys Utopia, and they're great. They even scale pretty well with Titan class Trypticon, but again, being at 17, 18 inches, some people are like, well, they're too small. I think that they're acceptable personally, but I see the argument. Which brings us back to a reissue, really, of the Generations Metroplex. Some version of Metroplex, I get it. I never ever get tired of mine. Starscream White found mine in the aftermarket for a great deal. I've always added stuff to them. I've always added paint and stickers, and you know, I have turrets and manacle, which are the Iron Factory versions of 6-gun and Slammer. I have the actual 6-gun, the actual Slammer. Of course, he comes with Scamper. Like, I even found a second red gun thrift shopping. I get it. I understand the appeal for sure, because I never get tired of them. And Metroplex, in some form, takes the number 5 slot. Coming in at number 4 is this guy. Studio Series 86 Devastator. And I would not accept votes that just said the Constructicons. The Constructicons are a group. It would have to be an individual Constructicon. But those that actually voted and said, no, look, I want the completed Studio Series 86 Devastator. And the people that voted for that Devastator said that they like the Hypertune look. It's clean looking, is what they said. And they also said he is the right size. Devastator shouldn't be bigger than other combiners. And the closest that we had to match the mainline combiners was the KO of the Combiner Wars. And some people said the QC on that's okay. Some people said it's not. And it does have the Combiner Wars issues of, like, no elbows for Scrapper, for example. And the weird sideways elbows for Long Haul, for example. So a lot of people said, no, I would rather, you know, go in on a Devastator of that size via the official 86. And you know what? If you voted for Devastator as a whole in 86, then I get it. I understand it. Like Dragonfly said, Devastator, he's my favorite Decepticon, and he took the number 4 slot. Coming in at number 3 is sticking with Studio Series 86, and this guy. That's right, Optimus Prime. And a lot of people might say, what? Optimus Prime? But that's been out for a long time. They are doing now the second run that is coming out. But my understanding, as was pointed out by a few of my voters, in Japan, this has not released yet. In fact, I don't think it's due to release until March 29th of 2025. So still a few months to go if you are a fan in Japan, or you want to buy the Takara. There are options out there. A lot of people said, I haven't been able to get it. It's so hard to get. The distribution's so bad. I think that if you pay attention and you do your due diligence enough, I believe that this Optimus is going to be one that will be around in fairly regular abundance. He is too popular and he's just too good. And he took the number 3 slot. Coming in at number 2, we have a Titanic entry with this guy. That's right, Trypticon. Specifically the Age of the Primes Trypticon, because he is going to be, as they say, more animation accurate. I think the green is, I think the gray certainly is, the dark gray. I think the pinky fuchsia type of color is iffy, depending on the animation, depending on the saturation on your TV. Sometimes that came across as a pinky color. Sometimes it came across as a true purple. Some people have said they're going to try and trade out the purple pieces for the pinky pieces. I don't know. I'm sticking with my Titan's Return because while I think that's more toy accurate coloration compared to the Age of the Primes, I also know that my version of Trypticon didn't have any of the QC issues. It didn't have the loose tail. It didn't have the loose chest that falls down. It didn't have the hip issue. So I don't really feel a need to upgrade. But if you had the QC issues, if you prefer this coloration, if you missed out on Trypticon before, get this, because guess what? He's a fantastic Titan. I absolutely understand how a lot of people want to add this guy to their collection, and he takes the number 2 slot. And now here we are, fan voted, very tippy top, number 1 most wanted addition in 2025 to the collection of Transformers fans. This number 1 is this guy. It's the fallen Megatronus himself from Age of the Primes. People really want this, and some people said that they want it not only because it's Megatronus and he looks big and burly, and it's a proper version of the fallen that you could put the flame deco and stuff on, but they want a version of the Requiem Blaster. Those that like the MacGuffins, so to speak, the artifacts, say Megatronus has the Requiem Blaster. I want the Requiem Blaster. I absolutely get it. I can't wait for this guy. I have the Make Toys Chaos Paladin, which is a tremendous version of the Fallen. How will that compare to the official? I guess we'll find out when the time comes. But Age of the Prime's Megatronus takes the #1 slot for Most Wanted Transformers Edition to collections in 2025. And there you go, we've done it once again. We've got from 10 down to 1, and man, some really excellent additions here. If you've been on the fence about some pre-orders, or, you know, going back and looking and checking out, I guess in the aftermarket for some older offerings, this can give you an idea of how your hunt might go, because you know how many, well, not how many people are looking for, but you know which ones are the most popular ones that people are looking for. Other ones that had votes, 86 Hot Rod, Onyx Prime, that probably would have been my vote. I can't wait for Onyx. Thrilling 30 Drift, Galaxy Shuttle had some votes. I can understand that. A lot of people, just like with Cosmos, missed him in the Velocitron Speedia 500 rollout, so they're looking for the Legacy United one. Hey, I got it right then. I didn't say Chaos on Velocitron. Who else had votes here? Legacy United Tidal Wave, the G2 Grimlock, being the Age of the Prime's G2 Grimlock, Legacy Evolution Beachcomber, Studio Series 1 Megatron, Siege Omega Supreme, which of course has a pre-order for December of 2025, Combiner Wars Ultra Magnus, 86 Megatron, if it's as good as Optimus, is what voters said. There was one vote for the G1 Rocket Base. That came from Masterfire. I get it. It's so good. Studio Series Leader Class Optimus Prime. I don't know what one that is offhand. Armada Red Alert, of course, up and coming. Robeson Grimlock. Scrap Heap. The TFCC Octo Punch. I'd love to add that Octo Punch to my collection as well. The Brave Troops Toys MP Scaled Rise of the Beasts Optimus Prime, Sam's Club Optimus Prime, Straxus, Siege Skywarp, a reissue of Siege Skywarp, which of course was part of the Phantom Strike Squadron, a reissue of MP36, Optimus Primal, the upcoming Superion. People hope for a new Bruticus, the Unite Warriors Bruticus, a vote or two here for HasLab Unicron, Dark of the Moon DevCon, Studio Series Knight Optimus Prime, him and I guess Knight would be Age of Extinction, the last Knight, I suppose. I don't know what else. MP44 Optimus Prime, and not for nothing, Studio Series 86 Swoop and Snarl, as was mentioned. Yeah, I mean, all of those and probably more. So many great bots. 2024, for all of the headache, heartache, backache, pain in the neck that year was, boy oh boy, was it absolutely great for fantastic bots. And will 2025 fare the same way? Guess we will see as time goes on. Thank you for coming by, giving me some of your extremely valuable time. I do know how important it is to you. If you're in a position to help the channel to grow, you can use the donate link. Check us out on Patreon, see what we have to offer to you through spring, or of course, hit the join button at any given time and become a channel member. While you are at it, hit the subscribe button, stick around, have some fun with us here on the channel, and don't forget, not for a moment, not for 1 second, that you right there, you do make a difference in the world, and I look forward to the next time that you and I get together to have another visit, either in the live streams on Thursday nights at the stop motion premieres, or the old-fashioned way right here inside the videos.